as we are live, ladies and gentlemen, salute, salute. As I was going off mid rant, salute, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Heel of the Ring Watch Along and Podcast. I am your co-host, Chef Dan, but I am introing tonight as you guys caught me mid-rant. Once again, I'll say, but nonetheless, we are here, for an NXT Tuesday. But before I do all of that, let's do the pleasantries, why don't we? With the host, the main guy, the Don of all watch-alongs, Jedi. Salutations as I kiss the ring.
Buongiorno, come stai? What's going on, everyone? We're in the middle of this, man. We're talking about today's Mcafee show with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and boy, we're having some delicious round tables. The video is uploaded. Our take, actually Chris's take from yesterday. I'm going to try to upload the take as we do the watch along, but everything's taking a little bit of a long time. I tried putting it with the Mcafee footage. YouTube putting shackles like they always do. YouTube's love to put fucking shackles, but it is what it is. So we have the unedited with our reactions after the interview. So we're ready to go. But I'll hand it over. What's up, Chris? What's going on, brother?
What's up, Kev, Chef? Salute. Great to be back again. I mean, we've been grinding since Thursday, since WrestleMania. The beautiful part about this shit is there's no off season. There's still plenty of wrestling to be consumed after WrestleMania. I think we can all agree. I mean, not all of us, but a lot of not burnt out, but like, oh, there's been so much wrestling to consume. But we're still here. We're very excited. I'm very excited, and the aftermath of Stand and Deliver is going to be very, very good, Kev. Very good.
Right, I'm excited there. And of course, we're definitely having that conversation about the Pat McAfee. Oh my goodness. We reacted. What was your reaction? Chat it on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on X. No, we're not on YouTube tonight because they put restrictions on X here on the playback and on Rumba. What's your thoughts? I know we have our thoughts there. We were listening to Chef Dan, but it'll be tough to bottle back that same wonderful emotion that Chef Dan had, but we're going to try to pull it out again from him. Me personally, I'm going to give you my quick take, and when I heard Dwayne come out and speak The Rock and said that he didn't even contemplate going to Las Vegas, they had merchandise, and then we didn't say this on when we did it. We were watching earlier on Chris. They made merchandise. Finally, the final boss is back in.
I didn't know that.
Las Vegas. There's in the WWE store merchandise. They were waiting for him to come. He just totally did not want to come in. And I was telling this, Chef, to Chris, the fact that he didn't do a video congratulating and honoring Triple H for getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Like, we paved the ropes together, up and down in all different arenas, from Bangor to Bangladesh to Oshkosh to Fort Lauderdale, naming, and we grind our teeth in the Attitude Era, working with each other, seeing the company rise from, and it's the things that Dwayne, the word salad that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson could give, and all these stuff with, and we did this together, without the cerebral assassin, there isn't the great one, or the great one helping us, all that crap. The fact that he couldn't even do a video, and at least him with and I'm telling this to Chris earlier, with the beautiful background that there is in Hawaii, that he has, and on the beautiful, over a mountain with some beautiful orchids and all that beautiful stuff, and he drinking his Terramana and raising an eyebrow and raising a glass to Triple H, continue working hard and knowing the love of the business that we have, and all that stuff. And we're going to shape the future wrestling into the next future. He didn't even bother to make a video, not alone not showing up to WrestleMania Night 2. And then he said he had no idea that Travis Scott was being part of this. And then,
Bullshit.
There's a lot of holes there, Chef, that I'm like, what? That I was like, you're pinning it on Triple H, this negative backlash where everyone has blame, in my opinion.
Dude, excuse my language, it's a clusterfuck.
It is.
It is, dude.
We're not on YouTube, brother.
Like, dude, it's like, come on, man. What are you doing
Say it with your
I
chest.
understand making the appearance on McAfee and you want to, like, this is the thing. If you're going to, there's a lot of issues with the current WWE. I understand there's a tacit agreement between the WWE and the fans now that we understand a little bit that kayfabe is dead, but to a certain extent, like, a lot of the fans still want to believe a little bit. That's why certain promos hit the way they do, which is why it's like, dude, you sometimes are peeling the onion back a bit too much. And when you do these reveals, it doesn't make things sound better. It makes things worse. Like, this doesn't, a lot of what Rock said doesn't make sense, and it contradicts what he said at Elimination Chamber, which furthermore makes no sense for what you did at Bad Blood. It makes the whole storyline make no sense. Because if at Elimination Chamber press conference, you're telling us, oh, I know you love this Cena heel turn. You were rubbing, dude, you were rubbing one out on the press conference, talking about we planned months in advance. So this was something we were planning months in advance, this, that, whatever. Just for you to say you planned it around Elimination Chamber, that doesn't make sense. Then you tell us, oh, you're gonna right now the main story is about Cena and his 17th. It's not about Cody and his, so we're gonna pick that back up later on. That doesn't make sense. Now even your whole relationship with Cody and your dynamic doesn't make sense. So now the night after WrestleMania 40, when you handed him something from your pocket that he just held in his hand and ended up making a face about, that doesn't make sense. It's a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense, and it doesn't feel connected. Like, literally, it is the thinnest thread that is only connecting it is the fact that it has you and Cody involved in it. That's it. But nothing else makes sense sequentially in about how you guys and the dynamic between the final boss and Cody Rhodes, the wrestler, the American Nightmare, is supposed to interact. So now it even makes the first night of Raw on Netflix makes even more no sense, because it's like, dude, why? Why was Cody in, amongst the fans? Why were you shouting him out? Why did you then do the video of Yatu sharing the shot of Terramana together? Like, what is the dynamic between the final boss and Cody Rhodes doesn't make sense, which makes Cody Rhodes, the character, look even worse. It was no wonder they didn't want him to retain, in Las Vegas. I'm sitting there thinking maybe it's a heel town. No, they just didn't want that guy. They sped up the timeline on a lot of things. They definitely wanted Dom winning because it freed up Braun Breaker to finally become a Paul Heyman guy. That's definitely what Vegas wanted.
And let me say this. One thing, ever since Vince McMahon has been out and Triple H has been head of creative, what is the one thing, consistency, that even the internet fans and everyone was saying, and in the terms that they say glaze or excited about? Triple H is crossing the I's, dotting the T's. Every story makes sense from a couple of weeks, from attentions to details. You have to see in the back in the promos because of, when someone's are talking to one another because it's related storyline wise. Let me ask this whole thing with Cody Rock, does that look like a Triple H creative?
No. And the reason why it doesn't.
Why is it getting heat?
Yeah, exactly, Kev. But the reason why, and this all stems back to a fucker in Sirius XM that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Dude, how could you sit there for months on end up until the Royal Rumble say you trust creative, and then throw in a big ass monkey wrench in the biggest story? Cody got crowned too soon. So now you have these weak ass storylines of him defending and it's subpar championship reign. And then through all that, you have all these things that happen that don't align with his character. Why would he sit there and why would he not hit John Cena with the freaking title belt when we saw at Backlash against AJ Styles, when AJ Styles was tied up to the rope and AJ pleaded with him, don't hit me with the steel steps, and he hit AJ with the steel steps. Why would he not hit John Cena with the title belt after what happened between him and Kevin Owens? We're not stupid. It's an inconsistent character.
And they always say, what if? And that was the question when, all right, Cody wins and finishes the story. Then what? What if? Then what? I mean, then what? They gave, and let's look at his title race. They put AJ Styles when it was a hell of a crowd, was a hell of a match, but it was no story. It was a great match with him and AJ Styles in Backlash.
Weak storyline.
There was no storyline. Remember that I personally think he's one of the reasons why Solo Sikoa, in the eyes of the fans, seems like he's kind of a chump when he's not. He was building NXT to be like Sela Fatu. I mean, he was in NXT, the street champ. Solo Sikoa was on fire.
Kev, here's how much of a domino effect it was. Because Cody got, and this is literally, and you have to go through all of his championship defenses to see each person and how it affected their career trajectory. Because of what Cody did, it made, like, dude, AJ Styles, it wasted AJ Styles potential in having banger matches with banger storylines because it was a weak storyline. Yes, it was a great match, but it was a weak storyline. And AJ's on his last legs. Karrion Kross has been saying it. AJ's been saying it. It's been known throughout the world. Boom! You waste an AJ Styles classic. Because of what you did, you who was his next defense after that?
If I'm not mistaken, didn't he go? It wasn't his Solo, right? No, didn't he have a Logan Paul? Logan Paul in Saudi for if I'm not mistaken, the Queen of the Ring.
Right? You have the Logan Paul. That's a wash. That's a wash match.
Good,
they weren't
great match,
huh?
Great match,
but we all knew the result.
Correct.
We knew the result. So it was, and it's not due to, we think Cody's just a better wrestler. It's no, business-wise, it just doesn't make sense for Logan Paul to become the champion because it's truly, then what? That's when people start asking, then what, all of a sudden. Then you have Solo Sikoa, right? Literally, because Roman Reigns lost, you had to speed up Solo Sikoa's growth in the ring, not in the ring, outside of the ring as a promo artist and his character work. You had to speed it up just to get squashed by Cody. Then you forced a Cody Roman Reigns tag team ship against Solo Sikoa.
Don't forget him begging Kevin Owens first for a title. Oh, please be my opponent.
Wait. There's that. Look. Begging Kevin Owens, right? So then you have some pseudo friendship. We're cool, but we're going after the same thing type of match that no one gives a crap about truly in the end. And I didn't even remember it. That's how memorable it was, right? And then that was the precursor, so you could have him a force feed match, a force feed tag team with him and Roman to face Solo Sikoa. So then you could have the Solo squash. So then you could have Kevin Owens turn heel onto him. And then we know what happens between him and Kevin Owens. And now Kevin Owens is on the shelf. Not saying Cody's an irresponsible worker and all, but dude, these are the ripple effects. Maybe Kevin Owens doesn't need to be in that style of match during this time of year if Cody isn't champion just yet.
Or heat up a story that is like, oh man, it was a story that was actually a real good story for Cody. Who did he? Now I'm starting to forget. Did he had a match at? I don't remember. That's how memorable this title run is. Did he had a match at the Survivor Series War Games? I don't think Cody was in the Survivor War Games, was he?
No.
No.
That's a good question. I don't think so.
And it's not crapping on Cody because we said it. I've said it. He had to win the title. Was at Survivor Series coming up? They should have shifted it to the Garden or a Garden event and won it there. But no, they were being also. It played to a little bit of the greediness of TKO. He was not. Chris, give me a minute.
He was not. But Gunther defended his title, but no, they had almost every other title. They had the world title, the Intercontinental title, and the 2 War Games. No Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes was not involved.
Right. Okay. So he didn't. Yeah. So then he had to get that. Then of course, then you had those matches with Kevin Owens going there. Also, like you said, Chef, they speed up the Rock and Roman when Rock fans. I mean, Roman and Cody teaming up, where Cody fans or even Roman fans, they did not want Roman to team up with Cody. Everybody was like, they were matching their teeth to see them team up, Chris and Chef.
Kev, it's all these freaking storylines that don't make sense, that were force fed. Oh, but once again, it's because, it's WWE's fault at the end of the day, business wise, because you had a decision to make: acquiesce or truck through. And you decided to give the kid candy at 10 p.m. Now the kid wants candy at 10 p.m. again, and you're saying no, but you're not telling them about cavities. You're saying because I said so, because that shit at WrestleMania 41 was some because I said so, no explanation bullshit. Dude, you know where I'm at this point, I don't give a rat's ass. This is the truth of the truth. You know where I truly believe this stems from? I don't care how much of a shill this makes me sound. It is, dude. Do not bring up Vince McMahon and what he would have done. He's gone. It's Triple H's time, right?
Yeah, yes.
Do you know where this all stems from, for me personally? Is that the one statement that this one guy said, I'd say a year and a half ago, that everyone was up in arms about, that did not understand what this truly meant, was Mark the Undertaker Calloway, when he walked in the locker room before WrestleMania 40, and what did he say, Kev?
Too relaxed.
Too nice. So of course it's easy for a Zelina Vega or a Dakota Kai to just randomly, while they're streaming, just go, I'm upset with my direction. And because they have fan bases, they're going to do the same thing because they saw what happened with Cody. Then look what happened. Promotionless direction with them. But then the flip side of that is, because you're wasting that TV time on and it's not about the wrestlers, it's about the business and them having no direction. Because you waste directionless time on them, you get people like a Bailey or a Karrion Kross who's truly frustrated, and they have great ideas and can execute. That locker room is too nice. I really don't think anyone's competing amongst each other for any main event spots or anything like that.
Yeah,
honestly,
They don't
like
have.
if
They
there's
don't.
a
They
few,
don't have to.
there's a
They don't have
few.
to when they're all getting paid pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, but
Because
dude, there's gotta be
back in the day, you were paid based off where you were in the card, and that made everybody want to. Now you get contracts and you get guaranteed.
No, I understand that. Look, there's guarantees, yeah, whatever. But dude, there should be incentives,
there's
and also
bonuses.
there should be and bonuses.
Yeah,
but more so than that, there should be a self incentive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like, dude. That's why Gunther is so loved, and he can do no wrong. Because we see him putting in the effort, him on the mic every week. That's a gamble to get better and better because he knows it's not like, all right, I've got the wrestling down pat. I can put on the show in the ring, but I got to use the mouthpiece to sell stories. I got to get them in the building. I got to try new things. I'm going to call him street trash. I'm going to say you're a bum. I'm going to choke out Michael Cole. I'm going to choke out Pat McAfee. I'm going to bully Michael Cole. I'm going to give guys certain looks. I'm going to tell this guy to get rid of that guy. Like, I'm going to try these different things. Work to make yourself get better. There's not a lot of guys like a Damian Priest. Honestly, for as much as I hate him, I respect it. There's not a lot of guys like a Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
I make the joke, but regardless, when you do the replays of his promo work, it's some of the best stuff you're hearing this year, period, bar none. Mm-hmm. That's why he could go bar for bar with the CM Punk. Dude, I truly believe Jey Uso and Gunther were trying to compete for main event of night one. Yes. But at the end of the day, they just lost out to a better trio of talent in Rollins, Punk, and Roman because they just got it. But those three are also guys that continue to try and get better and better. But after that, dude, it's a freaking wash. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this. So stop telling me everyone gets along. I don't like, to a certain extent, yeah, you guys are like, yes, predetermined, all that, cool. But to a certain extent, where is the true competition amongst trying to outwork each other to get the main event spot? I want my storyline to be the best. So that
to be fair, Triple H did say that on the scrum on Elimination Chamber. Right now, I don't know who is the main event. You have this build in his next few weeks to tell me who should I put in the main event. He did say that if you look at the media scrum.
Exactly, because he's got to restore some of that. That's what has to happen. Dude, if that was happening, then no matter how much them fans cried, this, that, whatever, all that, the whole locker room should have been like, screw that. For WrestleMania 40, no matter how much them Cody crybabies cry, the whole locker room should have been like, no, we're trucking through. We don't like it. It doesn't just affect his dollars. But everyone's comfortable. Dude, it's... like, congratulations to The Rock for being on board. But, dude, if this is all you're going to do, then stay the hell out of the way, respectfully.
Can I say something, Chef, real quick?
And it's not his fault. It's really Dave LaGreca's fault and the IWC's fault. But at this point, there's got to be one director that is conducting and telling people, shut up and let me work, because I got to course correct. I thought this WrestleMania was supposed to be the course correct, but it's not. It's getting worse. Go ahead, bro.
When you bring up The Rock in that last part, and again, I'm not going to say too much because I might record another take of this tomorrow after whatever. But this is what I would say about, you just brought up The Rock being on the board. Dude, I thought they were going to bring The Rock on the board because when TKO first bought WWE, you see, right, it's RMN, you see all these guys that are just business guys that want money. And to me, you needed somebody who knew the business, who understands, the wrestling side and the outside business world. And there's no one better than The Rock. Now it just feels like instead of doing that, instead of helping the WWE and TKO, because he's ultimately, I would put him as the middle guy because he's WWE. He likes to claim that WWE is his, he never forgets his roots. This is where he started everything. But yet it feels like to me now he's teaming up with Ari Emanuel and TKO to either try to take control, get some people out of their positions. I don't know if he's in it for the business. I think he's in it for himself and Ari. And that's that kind of, and if that's true, I'm not saying it is, but from what's been happening and what I've been hearing and what was said on the McAfee show, that's what it seems like to me. It seems like he's in it for himself.
Chris, that's
instead of being in it for the product.
Chris, that could true, dude. That could be true, or that could be false, or that could.
That's why I said I don't know.
Or there could be some gray area, right? But at the end of the day, what this comes down to, business-wise, was at the build of Royal Rumble. No, matter of fact, the night of Royal Rumble in Gorilla, Triple H had a choice to make. Like, dude, and it is in a moment where I don't even think he truly understood what was happening. I think he already had his day-to-day, in his head, but I don't think he understood grandscaping of what's happening. Dude, you're not fully in control yet. They're always going to look for a reason to get rid of you. So you're constantly fighting. That's what it is. Because, dude, I would not trust TKO like that, bro. Because I'm even seeing it right now. As much as they're having a lovely relationship with Dana White, he's sounding like he's about to leave. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, dude, that night was a night to make a decision. Building up to WrestleMania was a night to make a decision. And he went and he took the easy way out because as long as the fans were happy, he felt that was going to give him security. And that's cool and all, but dude, sometimes you got to make the fans unhappy for a night to make them happy for 50 nights. He didn't know when to take the appropriate loss. You could have taken the loss that night where they were bitching about it. Cool, this, that. But even then, I guarantee you, no one, not any one of those Cody crybabies would have lost interest on when is he going to finish the story. They followed him for 3 companies. That should tell you they can wait a little longer. You could have taken the appropriate loss that night to make something even more special later on. But you took the easy way out.